Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. On this very fine cold day, we're going to be talking about exactly how much I spent on my 2016 WRX in its lifetime. We're going to talk about exactly what I purchased it for and exactly how much it cost me after 3 years of ownership. And I think you guys will be absolutely shocked. I can promise you I spent almost as much owning this car in 3 years as I did actually buying it, and we'll talk about all those things that I've written down and every cost that I've actually spent on this car so you guys can get a better understanding of what long-term usage and ownership looks like. Caveat, I was pro-tuned through Bren Tuning for about 2 years of those 3 years, so some of the costs are related to performance modifications, the tune, etc. So I'll talk about, well, I'm just going to tell you guys every single penny that I've spent on this car, and everything that you could ever want to know financially behind this 2016, so it might relate to what you have, what you're considering getting into, or if you just want some juicy financial information about somebody else spending a lot of money, this is the video to watch for you guys. Before I get too deep into the finances and what I spent and all the dollars that left my pocket for this car, the sponsor of the video, you guys, if you guys could smash the like button, thumbs up button, that'd be great. It's free to do and it really helps the channel out, but let's get straight into it. So I bought this car not brand new. I was the second owner. I paid $18,000 for the car used. It had roughly 28,000 miles on it, and I bought it 3 years ago, almost to the day. In the 3 years of ownership, I drove 20,000 miles. I averaged 27 miles to the gallon over the 3 years of ownership, and at an average fuel cost of $3.90 per gallon, I spent $2,889 on gasoline over the 3 years of this car. Now I'm going to add up each section. There's basically 3 sections of money spent, and then I will show you the total cost of ownership, including the cost of the car, so you guys can get a good picture of what 3 years of ownership actually looks like with this car. So I was Bren tuned through Bren Tuning, which means I was stage 2+. It was a turbo back exhaust, which means J-pipe, catback exhaust, intake, electronic boost control solenoid, access port, and those are the performance parts. The performance parts cost me roughly $2,000. We're going to call it $2,000 for the video. The tune, when I actually took it to Bren Tuning, cost me $800. I spent $1,000 on exterior parts, and this does not include my wheels. This is stuff like building the headlights, the front, all the emblems, all the wrap, the front lip, the OLM carbon fiber duckbill, because it is right now as close to stock as it's been in a long, long time. So definitely stick through the video for the B-roll shots. So I spent $1,000 on exterior stuff on this car. Wheels and tires cost me $800 when I bought them on sale originally. Fixes. So these are things that I've had to replace, fix, diagnose, and it's actually a pretty low number. And this basically, I had 2 instances I need diag, and 1 instance where I need diag and replacement electronic boost control solenoid, and all those things. And this also includes, like, I'll tell you in a second, I had to replace some wheels and tires, so this includes mounting and balancing, all that stuff. I spent $1,100 on fixes over the last 3 years. Oil changes. I did 7 oil changes in the lifetime of the car. It might sound like a lot for 20,000 miles, but again, it was only 20,000 miles over 3 years, so I was doing oil changes in timed intervals if I wasn't hitting the mileage. Each oil change cost me roughly $47 for all the parts and stuff. That brings it to $329 for oil changes. I replaced the brakes, the rotors, pads on this car, and that cost me $600. And then miscellaneous parts. So these are bolts that I had to buy when I broke bolts. This is, actually that's pretty much it. This is like getting little parts that I broke while I was working on the car myself. Like if I had to replace bolts, crush gaskets, all those kinds of things. That cost me $112 over the 3 years. So that first section, which is kind of like regular ownership, parts and stuff and all that stuff, was $9,630. Yikes, that's a big number. So the next one are kind of recurring costs for having this car. When I actually bought it, I had to pay sales tax, which is, if you're considering buying a WRX and you are on Facebook Marketplace and you see a WRX for, let's say, $10,000, let's just say, for a round number. You need to understand that in most states you have to pay sales tax, so when you go and buy that car, you're going to have to pay $625 in tax, at least if you're in Massachusetts. So just wanted to be transparent. From the day that I bought it, I spent $1,125 in sales tax. Over the 3 years, I had to get 3 inspections. That cost me a total of $90. I had to do a register. I had to register and title it. When I initially bought it, that cost another $300. And the insurance over the 3 years summed up to a total of $4,500. I think it was just a little bit less, but I rounded up to the nearest hundred on the insurance. It was $4,500. So the kind of recurring maintenance costs, or the recurring cost of owning this car for 3 years, was $6,015. And then the last section, which is actually the most disappointing section, was the cost to actually part the car out and take it apart so that I could sell the car. And to remove the turbo back exhaust, it cost me $625 because 3 of the studs broke. And then to remove the electronic boost control solenoid in the intake, it cost me $450. So parting out the car and getting the car ready to sell actually cost $1,075. So if you can believe it, not including the cost of the car, I spent $16,720 owning the car over 3 years, which is a remarkable number because I paid $18,000 for the car. So I almost paid in ownership the exact cost of the car that I bought, which is crazy. So the big final number here is, over the 3 years of ownership, including the cost of the car, basically from the decision of I'm going to buy another WRX to now, this car cost me $34,720, and that is for a car that was priced at $18,000 used. So I didn't know it was that high, honestly, until I actually added all this stuff up and made this video. So I'm a little surprised. I'm a little shocked. Wasn't intending to spend that much money. Yeah, so that should give you a good idea of what it might cost you if you plan on doing some very light modifications. Like, didn't do anything crazy, didn't spend a lot of money, bought the cheapest parts you can buy for this car. So certainly that could have been easily $4,000 or $5,000 more if I bought, the most expensive stuff, or I did some, real stuff for the car. My original build list was like $6,000 more than what's listed here, so it would have been like a $40,000 into it car, and I'm glad I didn't do a lot of those things because I wouldn't have gotten that money back, and I don't know if I would have enjoyed the car more if I had spent that money. But I guess the moral of the story is, if you buy a WRX and you plan to have fun with it, or you buy any car, there are costs of owning it, and those are significant. So by no means do these numbers apply to everyone. Of course, some people are going to pay actually significantly more than this if they were to do the same thing, because my insurance is relatively cheap compared to what other people seem to be paying for the WRXs, or vice versa. If you have crazy low insurance or no sales tax, it might be slightly lower. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and enjoyed grimacing at how much I spent on my Subaru WRX over my 3 years of ownership. Don't leave just yet. We're going to roll some B-roll, and then I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.